Hello, dear aspirants. Welcome back to Decode UPSC. Today, we will be decoding the current affairs of 10th August 2026. This I have picked up from various sources like Hindu, then Indian Express, Hindustan Times, Telangana Today. Okay, let's not waste our time and put our energy in rightful thing. So, moving forward, so what we have is that Russula Gricio purpurata. So actually at Meghalaya, Reboy district, Meghalaya, Reboy district, beneath Sal tree, beneath Sal tree, a new mushroom species has been discovered. A new mushroom species has been discovered that is called as Russula gricio purpurata. Russula gricio purpurata. So far, this species is found only in Meghalaya as well as West Bengal. Only in Meghalaya and West Bengal. So there can be a statement in your examination that the species is endemic to Meghalaya only. So no, it is also found in West Bengal. Okay, recorded only in West Bengal as well as Meghalaya. So here it can be found single or it can be found in groups. It can be found in groups or it can be found as single. So single ga undachu or scattered ga undachu అని చెప్పేసి here it is grayish purple in color. So it has grayish purple cap. It has grayish purple cap. We know the edible part of mushroom is that part only that develops cracks as it's matured. Its gills show forking near the stalk. This is the unique feature of Russula gricio purpurata. It shows crack in its upper cap and it's belong to Russula genus. So nearly worldwide they are up to 2000 species. 2000 species of Russula are present all throughout the world. Gricio purpurata is endemic or specifically found in Meghalaya and West Bengal region. So nearly 180 of these species out of total 2000 species in the entire world, 180 species have been documented in India. In India, more than 180 species were documented. Next, here the unique nature of this is that till now the particular species has not been established by any scientist that it is edible. Okay, so edibility of this particular species has not been established by researchers, which means we cannot confirm whether the Russula gricio purpurata can be eaten or not by scientific study. Okay, so this is Russula gricio purpurata is a new mushroom species identified at Rebo district of Meghalaya. So far it has been recorded only at Meghalaya and West Bengal. It can be found singly or it can be present in groups. Okay, so its cap is grayish purple in color and it develops cracks. It belongs to Russula genus. Russula genus worldwide there are nearly 2000 species and about 180 are documented. So here edibility of particular species is not been established so far by any researchers. So this is all about Russula gricio purpurata. So from this aspect, the questions can be framed in the examination key. So Russula gricio purpurata has been identified in discovered in which of the following districts, which of the following states in our country. Okay, and they can give you statements from this part like they are found singly or they are found in scattered groups. Clear? So next, moving forward, we have another important lake which is in news is Lake Meir. So Lake Meir is the largest reservoir lake which is found at USA. So which is found at United States of America. So in the year 1930, it was formed by Hoover Dam. So during the construction of Hoover Dam, Lake Meir emerged. Lake Meir was formed. So on which river? On Colorado River. So I know I can consider that you all are aware the basic difference between river, lake, dam, sea, ocean. right? Isn't it? I think you all have that basic understanding. So on Colorado River, US government was constructing Hoover Dam. So during the construction of this Hoover Dam, Lake Mead emerged. Okay, so here Hoover Dam is the largest reservoir in the USA. So it lies on Nevada, Arizona border. So Nevada as well as Arizona border. It supplies drinking water to nearly 25 million people. So nearly 25 million people. So this lake or this dam is supplying water. So Coronado River, from where does this river emerge? It emerges from Rocky Mountains and it flows into the Gulf of California. Rocky Mountains and flows into the Gulf of California. Here, basically the river carved the Great Canyon. The river carved the Great Canyon, so which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. UNESCO World Heritage Site. Since 1919, prolonged drought plus rising demand have sharply lowered lake levels. See, listen, climate change, pollution, the effects of climate change are touching each and every corner of the world. One such example is Lake Mead. So one such example is Lake Mead. So due to prolonged drought, improper rains, okay, so drought conditions, because of this Lake Mead, which is very instrumental in supplying water to nearly 25 million people, is at the lowest water level, since it was filled 90 years ago. From 90 years till date, this is the first time the Lake Mead is seeing such a low level of water. So which is putting these 25 million people in water shortage. So this is about Lake Mead. So they can ask you questions in the examination. Lake Mead, which has fallen to its lowest water level since it was first filled 90 years ago, was in news, at which identify the location of Lake Mead. Identify the location of Lake Mead. So moving forward, we have another important topic is that Pulkari. So what is Pulkari? The word Pulkari comes from the word Gulkari. So which is a Punjab word. So which means flower work. So basically what the artists do is that they take a piece of cloth, they do artistry kind of flower work using various colored threads. So this has provided economic sustainability to several Punjabi families. Apart from Punjab, so these can also be witnessed in few parts of Haryana also. People weave this Pulkari or Gulkari type of weaving to meet their ends, to meet their lives survive. Okay, so this is in news because various articles states that, so despite GI tag, despite the GI tag, you know the significance what holds for geographical indication tag. So geographical indication tag. So we will have a separate discussion on GI tag. And how many products from Telangana, from Andhra Pradesh are having GI tags, and various states, various GI tags, recently approved GI tags, and what is the process of getting GI tag. All those we will discuss in a separate video. So here it states that Pulkari artisans still struggle for recognition and livelihood. Despite being recognized as GI, it is not fetching them good recognition, or it has not been a good livelihood opportunity for them. So here the word Pulkari means flower work. It is traditionally embroidery art of Punjab. Sometimes it can also be in few areas of Haryana also it is being present. So possibly it can be dated back to 7th century Christ era or derived from Gulkari word, Persian language. Okay, so traditionally why it is more traditionally associated with me, which means, so during the time of marriage, so Punjabis usually gift their girl child with this fulkari dupatta or fulkari sari. Fulkari dupatta or fulkari sari is gifted from mothers to their daughters during the time of marriage. So that is why it has a traditional significance. It is basically woven on a khadi type of cloth, a khadi type of cloth. So, or on silk. It can be khadi type of cloth, or it can be on silk. Two different types of material they can use and they can weave depending on the availability of the material. So, it gained GI tag in the year 2010. So, this is about Fulkari type of art which has gained GI tag and which is predominantly found in Punjab as well as Haryana regions. Next, moving forward, we have another important invasive species. So where this invasive species has been found. So before we understand the species, let us understand what is invasive species. Invasive species are those species which are brought from its local area to another area, from its original area to another area. So where here they outnumber the residing species. Okay, and they don't allow the species of the original area to be grown. They don't allow the species of the original area to be grown. So for which invasive species are not at all good for the ecology of the region. So yesterday also we were discussing about one of the invasive species, rats, which were removed from Papau Island. So whereby it actually restored the ecology of the region. So it restored the ecology of the region. So similarly here at Maharashtra, Ujjaini Reservoir. So Maharashtra, Ujjaini Reservoir, which is on Bhima River. So which is on Bhima River. So has observed that several sucker mouth catfish were acting as invasive species. The Bombay Natural History Society is actually conducting a drive to take away all these sucker mouth catfish. So from where did this sucker mouth catfish come? So here technically if we speak, invasive species do not belong to that area. Then from where did they come? Is that they actually came from South America. They came from South America, Amazon River Basin, South America. So how did they enter? Through aquarium. Through aquarium trade, they entered our country. Through aquarium trade to enter our country. Okay, so this is how they came into our country. The suckermouth catfish has come into our country. So, and they are invading the species of local area on Bhima River Ujjaini Reservoir. Okay, so the greatest adaptability of this suckermouth catfish is that, so they have a greatest adaptability is that, so they breathe through their stomach. They became invasive because the first thing they adapted is that they can breathe with their stomach. Okay, and they can live even if reservoir dies. Even if the water is not present in the reservoir, so they can breathe with their stomach and they can survive. So this is what is making them more invasive in nature. The third point is that they eat fish eggs. these suckermouth catfish consume fish eggs, whereby it is destroying the original inhabitants of the Ujjaini river. So, whereby it is posing a severe threat, severe challenge to the ecosystem on Bhima River, Ujjaini River at Maharashtra. So this is all about sucker moth, and locally it is called as helicopter fish because of its unusual appearance. It looks like an helicopter, so it is called as helicopter fish. So sucker mouth catfish, which is in use, can be identified by which of the following specifications? The first one, it can breathe through accessory organs like stomach. Yes, it can breathe through stomach, and which helps it to survive even outside the water. Okay. The second thing is that it leaves even if the reservoir dies. The third one is that it eats the fish eggs, for which it doesn't allow the other species of the ecosystem to survive. This is all about suckermouth catfish, which is in news. Next, moving forward, we have another tribe which are in news. So other tribe, what type of tribes they are? PVTGs, particularly vulnerable tribal groups. So before we understand what are Toti tribes and why are they in use, so we have to see who are these PVTGs. Who are these PVTGs? They are basically shy. They don't come in contact with the main group. So no contact with main group. So other tribes, they come to main cities, they trade, they bring whatever they have with them, they sell, they trade, and they are into the education institutions, they are into the hospitals. But these PVTGs do not come outside. They are very shy. They have no contact with the main group of people, and the priormost thing is that they follow age-old agriculture practice, which is called as primitive agriculture. They follow primitive type of agriculture. So this is what are unique features of PVTGs. So PVTGs in India, total there are 75 PVTGs. Totally all over India there are 75 PVTGs. So coming to Telangana, so we have 3 PVTGs. In Telangana, we are having 3 PVTGs. Okay. So among that 3 PVTGs, Toti are the one of the PVTGs, and in the comment section mention two other different PVTGs which belong to Telangana, who are from Telangana. So these Totis are in use because their population is rapidly decreasing. So various studies states that in Telangana Today newspaper, they stated that so there is a rapid decline in the population of Toti tribe. So for which it makes us to study who are they. So they are particularly vulnerable tribal group. Okay. So next, they are mostly confined to Telangana region, and some parts of Andhra Pradesh and Maharashtra also they are visible. So traditionally, so how do they occupy themselves is that they are village messengers. They carry message from one place to another place. They are ballad singers and oral storytellers. So they carry the village messages through oral story formats, or they sing and they carry the messages. So they are basically village singers. They narrate the stories of Mahabharata using burra as well as madala drum. So madala is a type of drum which is used by Todi tribes. So burra and madala are the instruments which are used by Todi tribes. So they actually narrate the stories of Mahabharata. They are the village messengers. They are ballad singers. They speak Gonti language, so which is one of the slang of Gond language, Gondi or Gond language. So Gondi or Gond language, one of the slang is Gondi language, and they worship a deity called Parsapan. They worship Parsapan and they celebrate Nagoba Jatara festival. So which is quite famous in Telangana region. Nagoba Jatara is celebrated by Toti tribes. Nagoba Jatara is celebrated by Toti tribes. Their deity is Parsapan. They worship a deity Parsapan. They speak Konti language. Okay. So and they practice endogamy. So they marriage only within their tribe. So what do you mean by endogamy? Marrying within their tribe is endogamy. So marrying inside their tribe is endogamy. So next, women are noted for skilled traditional tattoo artistry. Most of the Toti tribes do have various tattoos over their bodies as well as face. So Toti women can be recognized by tattoos over their face as well as body. They worship a deity called Perspan. They celebrate Nagoba Jatara. They are mostly found in Telangana, confined to Telangana, but a few parts of Andhra Pradesh and Maharashtra can also witness Toti tribe. They belong to PVTG community, one of the PVTGs of three PVTGs present in Telangana region. So they narrate the story of Mahabharata using Burra as well as Mandela. So this is about Toti tribes. Next, moving forward, we have E-Samudram platform. E-Samudram platform. So E-Samudram platform is basically developed by Directorate General of Shipping for Maritime Governance. Directorate General of Shipping for Maritime Governance. So which is under Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways. Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways. So basically this is a digital ocean. The name itself suggests E-Samudra. E which means digital, Samudra which means ocean. E-Samudra platform. E-Samudra platform is developed by Director General of Shipping for Maritime Governance, so which works under Union Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways. So basically it is a single window. It is a single window. For whom it acts as a single window? For sea farers, those who are engaged in far shipping. Next, for shipping companies, ports, as well as all stakeholders. All the stakeholders. It acts as a single convergence point for seafarers, shipping companies, for ports as well as stakeholders. It is a single digital window. Single digital window. So it helps in automation. It helps in automation. It actually lowers the administrative burden. It strengthens the compliance monitoring. It strengthens the compliance monitoring. It offers online payment, real-time tracking, digitally issued certificates. Clear? So this, which means a part of e-governance, which is a direct part of e-governance. It is a part of broader push to digital first and faceless governance. So digital first and faceless governance. So for us, let us understand the topic, let us decode this Samudra. So what does this Samudra mean for us? So for us to understand this topic and remember it for longer tenure of time, so Samudra, which means this scheme is famous for seafarers, or which is meant for seafarers. Next one, automation. A, which means automation. M, which means maritime. U, which means unified. D, which means digital. R, which means real time. A, which means administration. The scheme has been brought up by Union Ministry of Ports and Shipping for seafarers, for automation, for maritime, for unified, for digital governance, for real-time monitoring, for administration. So for all these coupled together, it is E-Samudra platform. E-Samudra platform, which is a single digital window. Clear? Okay, we will move to another topic called Mithun. So what is this Mithun? So what is this Mithun? It is semi-domesticated bovine. So semi-domesticated bovine, so which is called as cattle of mountain. So mostly it is found in Arunachal Pradesh. Arunachal Pradesh and some parts of Nagaland. Some parts of Nagaland. For these two states, it is state animal. It is state animal of both Arunachal Pradesh as well as Nagaland. So why this mithun is in news is because so nearly 20 plus mithuns have died because of foot and mouth disease. Foot and mouth disease, which is caused by a virus called as aptovirus. So which is caused by a virus called as aptovirus. So foot and mouth disease is caused by aptovirus. So because of which mithun, nearly 200 plus mithuns have died during this past 2 to 3 months at Dibang Valley, Arunachal Pradesh. So it is a state animal of both Arunachal Pradesh as well as Nagaland. So its IUCN status is vulnerable. Its IUCN status is vulnerable, and FMD, foot and mouth disease, is highly contagious. So which actually affects from one animal to another animal, specifically cloud-hoofed animal. So specifically cloud-hoofed animal. So what does this cloud-hoof animal means is that so the animal's foot will be like this. The backside of the foot will be up and the front part of the foot will be resting down. So for this kind of, so in between, the middle of the foot will be hanging in the air, back of the foot will be in the air, the lower part, the front part of the foot will be rested down. So this kind of foot is called as cloven hooved animal. So these kind of animals, cloven hooved animals, which are having these kind of claws, so these animals are basically infected mostly with foot and mouth disease. And there are no evidence till date that eating this kind of affected virus doesn't actually get you infected with this. So there is only one way of prevention, that is vaccination. So vaccination is only the prevention method for this foot and mouth disease. So there is no evidence as of now that this disease spread from these infected animals to man or humans. So okay, so this is about mithun. This is all about mithun. Next, moving forward, myoglobin. We have another important muscle protein called as myoglobin. So myoglobin is a muscle protein, so which is present in very small concentration in our body, approximately only 2%. Approximately in 2%, this protein is present in our body. So but it has a greater significance. Its significance is that it carries oxygen similar to hemoglobin. It carries oxygen to muscles. It transports oxygen from blood to muscles and stores it as a reservoir. See how significant it is, this myoglobin protein in our body. Understand that. So that is why it is important, and scientists understood that it belongs to globin family. Structurally, it is related to hemoglobin. It serves as a biomarker of cellular muscle damage when found in urine as well as plasma. So in plasma and urine, if there is a concentration of myoglobin which marks that it is present, then what happens is that then the pathologist can understand that there is some kind of issue in the body. So that which means it is a biomarker. It works as a biomarker. So here the understanding for us why it is in news is that so naturally it is present in our body, but recently scientists, what they have done is that they have artificially manufactured this myoglobin, so in lettuce and tobacco plants. In lettuce and tobacco plants, this myoglobin protein has been structured and manufactured, engineered, which means specifically producing it artificially, so using various techniques. Okay, scientists have recently engineered lettuce and tobacco plants to produce myoglobin. So that is why myoglobin is in news. So which is a 2% of muscle protein. Next, moving forward, we will discuss few important practice questions for this session. Consider the following statements about Mithun. It is classified as critically endangered under IUCN Red List. Is it critically endangered or vulnerable? It is vulnerable, not critically endangered. It is a state animal of both Arunachal Pradesh and Nagaland. Yes, it is believed to be the descent of wild Indian gaur. So, wild Indian gaur, yes, it is a descendant of wild Indian gaur. Two statements are true. Consider the following statements on Lake Mead. It is formed by damming the Coronado River via Hoover Dam. Yes, it is entirely within the state of Arizona, USA. No, I told you it shares borders with two different states. The Colorado River, which feeds it, flows into the Gulf of California. So therefore, second statement is wrong and 1 and 2 are right. Okay. With reference to Toti tribe, consider the following statements. It is classified as particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Yes. They are found predominantly in Telangana. Yes. Okay. So they traditionally narrate Ramayana using the Veena. No, I told you they narrate Mahabharata using other two instruments. What are those instruments? Kindly do comment in the comment section, which actually will help you to link class with the practice session, practice MCQs. So another, we have few important mains practice questions from this area. Discuss the ecological and economic impact of invasive species on India's freshwater ecosystem with recent examples. So I told you various recent examples, and I will also discuss in other classes. So what are the other invasive species, or specifically we'll try to have a lesson on invasive species, various invasive species which are found recent past. Next, examine the gaps between symbolic recognition, GI tags, PVTG status, and real protection for India's traditional art forms and vulnerable tribes. So here the question is asking you about whether the recognition GI tags is on paper or it is impractical useful to those people. It has to be useful. Is it so or no? That is the real essence of the question. If you are tagging a community as PVTG, so what is helping them? Is a tag of PVTG really helping them? Is being tagged as PVTG really helping them to do with their economic and social life, to come up or to live their lives? Is it helpful? The question is in such a format. So because in today's current affairs, we have seen that Pulkari artisans, despite being recognized as GI tag, but they are not having any significance out of it. Okay, so what lessons does the record depletion of Lake Mead offer for India's interstate and transboundary river water sharing arrangements? So we have various river water sharing arrangements. So we share water with various states. So what does the message of Lake Mead has to give it to India? Okay, so clear. So this is all about today's topic. In tomorrow class, we will be discussing various current affairs which are in news again. So let's decode for today. Let's actually understand and decode. So whatever is important. So revise daily, stay consistent, be focused, give your energy to the maximum so that the nature one day will listen to you, will give you what you need. Thank you. Have a good time.